So on some occasions, the father says, no, I don't know her. Right. So lapho sithini uphika umntwana, which means you are disputing the pregnancy. You are saying that you don't know this child.
Yeah.
That in itself is a cardinal sin to amadlozi of that house. So that's where I want to start this absent fathers thing.
Yeah.
That in itself causes problems for you as the father of the baby. If you know that you've impregnated someone, then you say, minang mazlo mntwana. You are causing problems for yourself. Again, guys, it depends on the cultures, different cultures.
Yeah.
You pay the damages, you pay for the cleansing of the home, and then you pay Ukulobola. Then the child can use your surname as the father.
Yeah.
Now, other people say to me, okay, but Mkulu, families are now using this as a money-making scheme. I'm sorry, guys. You can't tell the family how much to charge you. It is not up to you. By the way, you as the culprit are not supposed to be there.
Hey, but Nkulu, like when you use the word the culprit.
Okay.
It sounds so wrong. You as the...
Angithi in Zulu sithi ungolisile.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I don't know what people are going to say on this episode,
yeah.
but females don't like that word because it's like archaic and it's like you saying, now, Mina, I'm dirty now. Or I'm used goods or what. No. We're just talking about culture here. We're not...
And culture is like brutal, it's like clean like that.
Yes.
Sanbonani, Dumelang, Absheni, I'd like to welcome you to a fresh, exciting episode of Spirit Matters. But before we get down to it, let me first give you a thank you for giving us 1,000 subscribers. Man, oh man. It's exciting, Mkulu. We are at least getting there now. We see the people are loving us. People are showing us, yeah, like surely. Like for me, the plan was to at least get to 3K subscribers by the end of the year. Because there's a lot that goes into doing this podcast. As you can see right now, again, we had to call in, a few favors for from some of our friends. We are shooting this episode at Melly's Pub. It's located just next to Maponya Mall in Pimville. So, when you're at Maponya Mall, you just take a left by the robots, and that's where you find Melly's Pub. Melly's Pub, it's a venue. They have, wine, Mkulu, like these, I don't know, like, do you attend wine exhibitions, like wine tasting, stuff like that?
Yeah, in Cape Town.
Oh, you used to do that?
Yeah, I used to. There was one in Macro today. My wife was there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I was at the river praying for people. She was enjoying wine.
How was it?
You really have to say that. It was very nice. It was okay. I think Utsepi can attest. It was very nice.
Wine tasting, it's quite interesting. Yeah? But some other wines, like they taste like strong, man. For me, they're just too strong. Especially the red dark wine. For me, it's like sour. I like sweet wine. Your Four Cousins. Stuff like that. Which one do you prefer?
Yo, I'm putting you on the spot, Gav. Can you please rescue me?
Which one do you prefer, Mkulu?
So the wine is better by age. If it's at least 2 or 3 years old, then it's gonna taste nice. I used to like Mellow or Pinotage, which is red wine. But then God gave me gout. By the way, God doesn't want me to drink. So he gave me gout. Then I couldn't have red wine. White wine, Chardonnay is best. It doesn't matter what bottle it is, but South African wine is the best.
Always. So come to at Melly's Pub to check out the wine tasting. It's so exquisite, I tell you. And then usually, they host events where they host different DJs, for you to come and just turn up, man. And if you are looking to host a birthday, a baby shower, any type of event, a corporate event, any kind of function, you can also come to here at Melly's Pub. They also, they can accommodate you by providing you with the venue. So you can simply book. I'll put down their details on the description just for you to get into contact with them. But without any further ado, man, oh man, for me, I'm excited about this podcast. We missed last week. We didn't upload anything. But we're here now. As I said, it's kind of challenging, to really run a whole project or like a whole project of like a podcast because there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Having to find the right venue, staff, just having to at least have a team, of different, videographers, sound. All of this is just crazy. But we'd like to thank you for subscribing. Those who haven't subscribed, please, man, click on the subscription button. Like this video so that we can grow the channel. The more the channel grows, the bigger the guest, the bigger the venue, everything just becomes better because at least we can also get a much more bigger team because currently we are literally a team of 5 now. It's me, Mkhulusishi, Malande, Ausumpo, and Butle. So it's kinda a struggle and a challenge always to organize and to shoot a podcast. So if you really believe on what we're doing here and you gain value from the information that we are learning through Mkhulusishi, please, man, don't doubt it, man. Click on that subscription button. But we are seeing a lot of love from the previous episodes that we've shot. You guys showed us a lot of love on the episode abantwana bazale bembethe. Yeah, a lot of people really love that episode, man. I think it's one of the best performing video right now. And also the response because we do like literally me and Mkhulu, we sit down and we really we read every comment and we do respond. It's like genuinely me and Mkhulu responding to every comment. So please do leave in your 2 cents, your thoughts on the comment section. But other than that, let's get down to it, man, without any waste of time. Today we are talking about absent fathers, which is a kind of sincere, this topic is kind of sensitive, Mkhulu.
Yeah. Sanibonani.
Yes, sir.
Usishilo Nqaba Mathendra Bayikhulu. Ngihamba nogoba machanga samahle ombambo omageza ngobisi.
Yeah.
So last I checked, the statistics were saying that 66% of children are growing up without their fathers in South Africa.
Yeah.
Which is appalling and quite embarrassing.
Mm.
So a lot of people will have different views on why this is happening.
Yeah.
Some will say, no, but women are lying. They claim that we are the father, but we're not.
Mm.
So I always say, rather go and have the child tested than ulahle umntwana, because it's not right.
DNA.
Yeah, go and do a DNA test, and then you'll know that this is your child.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this particular subject is simply because a lot of people, firstly, don't understand the culture around what is it that we do when a child is born, what is it we do when it comes to damages, what is it that we do when it comes to lobola for the child. So I'm gonna start like in the beginning.
Yeah.
So your lady is pregnant, Paul. I'm not saying you're I'm just
I receive
before she freaks out. So your lady is pregnant. A lot of people always ask me, okay, Mkhulu, when a woman is pregnant, which ancestors are looking after this child? So when a woman is pregnant and it's outside of marriage, because in our culture, what's important is this happening in marriage or is it happening outside marriage? When she's outside of marriage, then the child is being looked after by the ancestors of the mother, the maternal ancestors. When the child is born, then the malumes, the uncles of the mother of the baby, will meet and say, listen, we need to take you, so you're a mahlasela. So they'll take your girlfriend to your home to say, she must now say who impregnated her.
Yeah.
It kind of is better now because if you look at that part of the culture, it was a bit archaic. I mean, they used to just push the girl until we get to the house. Quite embarrassing.
Yeah, how was it? Like, maybe if you could give us a brief history of how they used to do it. Like, did they used to maybe take Indogu,
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So, the township I grew up in,
Yeah.
we so that thing was rare back then. for a woman to be pregnant at a young age, but it would happen. Then you would see one Saturday afternoon this young girl having uncles and aunties following her, literally going to the Mahlasela home. So she must go and say who impregnated her. And then they go to your home, right? So obviously you would have known when that they are coming, so you would have told your parents.
Okay.
Sometimes, on rare occasions, you wouldn't have told your parents.
Yeah.
And you get a surprise knock at the gate, and then they come in. Then they ask you, Paul, do you know this woman? Right? So knowing the woman means knowing her biblically, which means sexually. Right? Everything, Pela, we don't just use words,
like,
especially in Zulu.
Yeah.
Then he will say, yeah, I know her. And then the mothers, your side of the family, but oh, Paul,
it's happening.
Why would you do this to us? You know? Then then there's a discussion now of what's gonna happen, because this child needs to be paid damages for, right?
Yeah.
So on some occasions, the father says, no, I don't know her. Right. So lapho stini ukupika umntwana, which means you are disputing the pregnancy. You are saying that you don't know this child.
Yeah.
That in itself is a cardinal sin to amadlozi of that house. So that's where I want to start this absent fathers thing.
Yeah.
That in itself causes problems for you as the father of the baby. If you know that you've impregnated someone, then you say, minang mazlo mntwana. You are causing problems for yourself. Now, what happens is the guy is shocked and scared, young maybe. Then he says, no, he doesn't know the child.
Yeah.
Then a couple of months later, he then agrees. Maybe the child is now born, right? So then he when he comes back and he says, no, I want to be a father to my child. Now there's going to be a separate penalty payment. Because so when you do that, you then need to pay the penalty for Inhlawulo yokuthi umphikile umntwana ugezwe umuzi, which means there's a goat that needs to come out. But in addition to the goat, there's an additional amount that needs to be paid for you saying that you don't know this child, but now you know the child.
Is it just goat, or it depends per culture?
Yeah.
So my brother impregnated a girl from Eshowe. Eshowe, KZN, is a rural area and they are quite strict culturally. They asked for Inhlawulo, which is the damages, the money value. Then they asked for a living cow. I kid you not. At the time, my brother was living in England, so I had to represent him. So I drove down to KZN. We got a cow, me and my mom, and I was standing at the gate with a live cow.
Whoa.
What you're saying is that it depends, Guti.
Some families will say they want a live cow. Some families will say they want a goat, a live goat. Other families will say the goat will be in cash. Right. Now, so it's damages and it's Ukulobola. What is umntwana? Is when you want rights to have the child use your surname as the father. So do you get it now? So again, guys, it depends on the cultures, different cultures.
Yeah.
You pay the damages, you pay for the cleansing of the home, and then you pay Ukulobola. Then the child can use your surname as the father.
Yeah.
Now, other people say to me, okay, but Nkulu, families are now using this as a money-making scheme. I'm sorry, guys. You can't tell the family how much to charge you. It is not up to you. Recently, I went to Hammanskraal to help a friend of mine to pay damages. Guess how much we paid?
10,000.
No. above.
Above 10,000.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
How much?
We can't disclose. Hey.
Okay, let me guess. Like 50,000. 50,000.
Okay. Here's where the problem starts.
Yeah.
Other families now, the mother's family, they will say, okay, Paul, are you going to marry my child?
Of course.
Right? And then when you say, no, I haven't decided yet.
Oh.
Right? Then they say, oh, if you haven't decided, then you're going to pay more for damages because we don't know whether you'll come back or not. But if you say you're going to pay lobola, then they say, okay, you're going to pay damages and then you're going to pay deposit lobola. Then you can negotiate. By the way, you as the culprit are not supposed to be there.
But Nkulu, like when you use the word the culprit,
Okay.
it sounds so wrong. You as the...
Angithi in Zulu sithi ungolisile.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I don't know what people are going to say on this episode,
yeah.
but females don't like that word because it's like archaic and it's like you saying now, Mina, I'm dirty now. Or I'm used goods or what. No. We're just talking about culture here. We're not...
And culture is like brutal, it's like clean like that.
Yes. So ideally, your father would have wanted you to be only pregnant when you get married. That's why we have umemulo and we have oh my gosh, umhlonyane.
Nice.
Thank you. Umlanjane is a coming of age culture for a girl where the girl gets tested for virginity. And then she goes by Estawini. Estawu is like a place where they go dance and Zulu dance. And there is a goat that is used and she has to wear umhlwehlwe, which is the top of the skin of the goat, the stomach of the goat. There's this fat that you take out.
Yeah. Stomach lining kind of vibe.
Yeah, kind of vibe. You put it around your shoulders. If it breaks, it means you're not a virgin anymore.
Is that true, Velema?
Anyways.
The reason why I'm asking this is because you might lose if virginity other ways except you being sexual with a person, you know. For example, about horse riding sometimes or doing other sports eskolweni, you know. It might
She's talking about the hymen.
Yes.
Yeah, so when the hymen breaks outside sexual thing. So to answer you, Mpo, if you look at what kind of games girls used to play back in those days, they were not as rough as male sports and male games. So it was going to be something very rare for a child to lose their hymen.
Okay.
But it is possible for you to lose your hymen. So the skin breaking, saying that you are not a virgin, is not the actual check down there. Abo mama, they check down there that is your hymen still intact. But if the skin breaks, it's almost like a sign from the ancestors saying, lo umntwana ugangile. So
Embarrassment during the people.
yes. So it's an archaic culture. I don't really agree with it, to be honest.
I think maybe some other time we'll take
We'll
a deep
go
dive
deep,
on it because of we need to.
Yeah, so let's go back to the absent fathers,
Yes.
right? So what happens when the father doesn't look after the child? You don't want to pay damages, you don't want to pay maintenance, you don't want to be a present father in the child's life. Some children are special children. Some children are children, maybe abazalwe bembethe, for example, like that episode we did. Some children are gifted children. They're going to be spiritually gifted. So you'll find that those children need their father's ancestors. Back in the days, if a child is crying and no matter what they do in the house, and the mother is trying ukukhushuzela umntwana, but the child just keeps crying. There used to be some sort of belief that maybe the child doesn't belong to those ancestors.
Whoa.
So they would tell the mother, "Hambo uyomthulisa emnyango," which means you need to go and call upon the actual ancestors of this child. Why is this child crying?
Whoa.
In kamahlasela, kushuthi mhlambe lo mntwana wakangcobo. Akusiyena wakamahlasela. So then the mother would come out. Interesting stat, by the way. Last I checked, 1 in 10 fathers are raising a child that's not theirs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Welcome to the new world that we're living in.
Yeah.
But then can I ask something on that topic? So what happens, let's say we have a child, right?
Yeah.
And then let's say umntwana kamahlasela, for example.
Yeah.
And then we are raising umntwana as a sish.
Yeah. Are we married?
Yeah. Okay, boyfriend doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
it does
yeah.
matter.
It
I'll
does.
explain just now.
Okay, but then marriage, okay, you'll explain it, right?
Yeah, I will.
From a marriage point of view and
Yes,
dating.
yes.
And then whatever years down later, and then I'm like, hey, umntwana kamahlasela lona.
Yeah.
Is the Inhlawulo that I have to, I mean, you mentioned that ukugeza umuzi, something to that effect.
Yes.
Yes.
So must I, as the woman, come to ukugeza umuzi wami because you have raised this child
On a wrong surname.
Yeah. Okay.
and probably doing, I don't know, but most cases I think umntwana when avela, you do cultural stuff, we are being madlozini kind of
Yes.
vibe, and you know.
Yes. Okay. So I'm glad you asked that question. When the two of you are married, the child belongs to the Sishi family. Even though you went and had an affair with Mahlasela. Yeah. So what is critical here is inyongo, the gallbladder. So when utochiwe njengomama, watochwa ngenyongo,
Yeah.
the gallbladder, and now you belong to the Sishi side. And then you go and get impregnated by another surname. Now, earlier on, I was explaining to Paul just now about a mother who is lying about the paternity of child cries. Then Abo aunt in that family will say, go outside with the child. Uyomthulisa. Because Batini, they are saying, Guti, you know the truth about the paternity of this child. So go outside so that you'll speak to the ancestors, the true ancestors of this child, because the child is crying because the child is in the wrong place. So earlier on, I was explaining the complications that happen when a father is not there for their child, especially if it's a special child. Imagine in a case of you went and dated someone else outside your marriage, and it's someone that belongs to a royal family. Obviously, the ancestors of that royalty will fight for this child. So what happens is sometimes the child will exhibit issues in school. The child becomes slow. I had a case recently, remember, with Ukhaone. I had a case recently of a child that was failing in school. And I then spoke to the mother and I said, listen, abantu balumntwana, they are saying ukuthi lengane ayibikiwe kubo babwayo. That's why ihlupha esikoleni. So one of the things you need to look out for is issues of the child in school. So other people will say, no, but Mkulu, it's psychological. Yes, sometimes it is psychological. I agree. That's why I always say to my clients, check all boxes. Check is take the child to a psychologist, but also go and uhlole and check with a traditional healer, ukuthi what's going on with my child, right? Yeah. Another thing that the child does, you'll find that amadlozi of the father are blocking the child from getting a school. I understand what's going on. My child, I can't find a school for her. I don't know why. Yeah. So now the child needs to be taken to that family and then be prayed for and kuphahlwe kukhulume namadlozi and then izinto zivuleke.
Yeah.
Sometimes the child could be belonging to a family like Ngubane people. The Ngubane clan, they cut their pinky. Right? Yeah. So when now you have a child within a Ngubane clan, right? And there are no traditions done on this child that belong to the Ngubanis. Then the child could have a mental problem.
It's almost similar as like the things that you're telling me, the problems that the child may be facing.
Yes.
It's almost similar as, having lost a baby due to termination,
yes.
or maybe like or maybe miscarriage, and then you don't cleanse for the kid.
Yes.
Then your future kids that will come after the kid that you didn't look after, there'll be problems, stuff like that.
Okay. So that's a bit of a different case. This one, I'm just trying to appeal to absent fathers, Paul, because Ingane ziyahlupa. Sometimes Ingane starts using drugs at an early age. Sometimes Ingane will start stealing from the shops, and no one knows why this child is so naughty. Can't you know the child just needs my parents are going to end the right traditions for him or her. But here's the beauty of God, though. The fathers that are absent, normally, and I know I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to be witnesses to this, normally they don't succeed.
Yeah, it's true.
But I think absent, it's a very broad word.
Yeah.
Because there is absent, but the traditional stuff, it's done by your parents, right?
On the mother's side, or
for example, let's say I have a child with you, right?
Yeah.
And we're not married, we are just dating, right?
Right.
And then your parents bazo patala Inhlawulo, right?
Yeah.
To acknowledge umntwana.
Right.
But then when as the father, you are absent, let me put it like that.
Yes.
You are not there.
Yes.
So I think also in this we have to also differentiate how do umntwana bamhlawulile, right?
Yeah.
By the parents.
Yes.
Because when they were doing right culturally, they're to them.
Yes.
But then when as the father you are
not there.
a part-time parent,
yes.
or you are not there.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
right.
she's right. She's right.
Okay. Now, what happens in that instance where the grandparents of the child step up? Do you remember the issues I was talking about earlier? The child doesn't exhibit issues. Because umntwana ulotsholiwe, umntwana wenzelwe imbeleko kubo, announcement to the ancestors.
The mother side.
No. So the grandparents of Omahlasela, wena busumkhulelisiwe kumuntu wakho, right?
Oh yeah.
But when you are not stepping up as a father, right?
Physically.
You are not even wanting to pay damages. And then your father and your mother say, you know what, we're going to do the right thing with Paul's girlfriend, right? We're going to go to that family and we're going to pay damages. We're going to pay lobola for the child. Then sizokeza umuzi. Then we're going to go and do Imbeleko for the child so that the child can belong to the Mahlasela clan, right? What happens there, what I've noticed is that the children then get saved from being troublesome children. Ziba right ingane ke ibe right. But wena babwayo ayizakunetha baba.
Oh,
ziyakunetha uzobona you'll notice this guy, he's lacking ukuthola umsebenzi, right? But for some reason umsebenzi uyaphela. Always like they're always out of a job for some reason, and bahlala isikhathi eside ekhaya, and then they get a job. And then kube sengathi okay, things are going okay again. They're now staying a flatty in a 4As. They're driving a nice Polo. Sorry, I'm not saying Polo drivers, Umlanjane. But then how? Usubuyile futhi elokishini. What happened? Hey, mina I don't know kwenzakalani. Right? Uyahamba uyohlola. right? And they keep telling you, good no, wena uhamba ukhulelisa abantwana abantu la elokishini. And then you leave them with kids. What do you think amadlozi are saying? Do you get what I'm saying? So, yes, people are going to say to me, mina mkhulu baba ngane yami right. Akane ndaba nomntana wami but right yena impilo yakhe right. So, here's what very fascinating about this world that we live in. Umuntu may seem right kuwena. Because when you are looking ukuthi no uyasebenza, unemali, unemoto, impilo yakhe iyaqhubeka. But there is something emhluphayo. Look closely. Khona into emhluphayo ubhuti. Mhlawumbe ubhuti even though esebenza, he is drinking like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know why he likes alcohol anymore. Yeah. And for some reason, uza afonele uma wengane eboleka imali. But uyasebenza. Uthola ukuthi uhola more than uma wengane. But for some reason, he never has money.
You know, Mkulu, this is like the culture, yeah, like us. Mina ngikhulele us, so it's Orlando East. But now I'm currently, residing in Dubai. It's the culture that we live in, as men. From growing up from high school, we influence one another with sex. Yes. Right? By the time, maybe during high school, some of us, they do it during high school, some of us after high school. But once, with that influence behind you, once you start, it becomes a thing to say, this weekend is Bangena Siaga Meli, okay, Samana Moban, or Sabatala Pambil, and it becomes that thing to say, you find a guy, busy, dating different women, and then implanting their seeds on those women, stuff like that. Like it's the culture or the pop culture or how men us they live. And then you're right, because some other ladies watching the podcast, they may say, but umuntu amuthebe so alright as like ukhohliwe ngami ulahle ngami like akalanda abantu like nomntanam like that kind of thing. Oh, to kind of speak more specifically, there's an episode I watched on Moja Love. I think last year. It's like a long episode. Do you know the actor from Tsotsi? I don't mean to expose him like that, but he's like it was like kind of out there. It's like kind of famous now. The actor Tsotsi. Yeah. He's also into like How to Steal a Million. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you know him, right? Yeah. I forgot his name. He was on Riad Hotel. No, Pay Pap Geld. He was on Pap Geld. Yeah, he was on Pap Geld. They were busy chasing him. He was there on Pap Geld. And he couldn't say a word. He couldn't speak. Kind of thing like that. Yeah. So now, what happens then to say, okay, fine, I'm cool. Let's say, as Paul, I did pay the damages. I did acknowledge that it's my kid. Yeah. But now I don't want to be with the baby mama, so we separate. But our separation also means that I'm not present for my kid. I'm not there, maybe, to take at least my kid to school or there for soccer practice or soccer matches, like being there as a present father. Yeah. What then happens, even though I did due diligence, with Inhlawulo? So,
you paid damages, you did everything correctly, right? That part is designed, it's a culture that's designed to make you grow up as a man. And see, I'm a man now, and I need to do right by my children. Yeah. If you do that and then you withdraw from your child, right? I remember my grandfather, Mkulusha. I once had a dream where he came to me years ago. I wanted abantwana. I love children. I wanted abantwana so badly, and I struggled to make children. And you know what he said to me in the dream? He said, "When I'm Ingane, you've got a short temper. I don't want to give you a child until you are mature." Mm. And I said, "What do you mean, Mkhulu?" Bathi angifune ngane mina yakasishi ezokhulela emgwaqweni. No grandchild of mine is going to be raised in the streets.
But what did he mean like that?
He meant you're gonna fight with baby mama.
Oh, yeah.
And so he basically wanted me to bless me with a child once I'm married. Right. Right. So, in a way, because I'm divorced and I have a child with my ex-wife, that prophecy came true. Yeah. And it does piss him off that my daughter doesn't stay with me, doesn't live with me. That's his grandchild. By the way, my daughter's name is Unandi. Unandi was Umagashaga. And my grandfather is Shaga. So here's what happens, Mkhulu. Amadlozi will start to see, oh, this person is not taking care of the child. Remember, this is a gift, right? It comes from God, and then the Madlozis caretake the child, the spirit, before it comes to you as a gift. And then when you are not taking care of that gift, bazokpanisha still Mkhulu. Bazokpanisha. Sometimes mangihlola, I get people where I would be like, hey, listen, Ketlalam, they are telling me that you have a child outside. And then umuntu, hey, yeah, Mkhulu, yeah, I do. And then I'm like, okay, Mkhulu, they are not happy with the fact that you are not paying attention to the child. And when you are not paying, you are not taking care of that child, you are not being there as a father, then bazok punish. Still. So it's not just about paying damages and then saying, oh no, I'm done, and then I'm going to So this is a caution to fathers out there that are not taking care of their children. And it's not about money. Some people are going to say to me on this podcast, but Mkhulu, mothers of today are too demanding.
Yeah, which is true.
They want my Christmas clothes when they know very well ukuthi mina ngihola u350 from government. It's not about the money. The one thing that frustrates the baby mama more is to see their child asking, Mama, when am I going to see my dad? So it becomes a very, very sad situation
and also,
for the child.
Also, like mentally, so mental health wise, it really affects and impacts mothers in the wrong way. I have a personal story, but I don't want to put it out there because she will find it very inappropriate and sure. But seeing like I have a person like very close to my life, for the fact that her and the baby daddy, things didn't go well. It really took a very negative impact on her. Depression, kind of thing like that, because it's quite painful, man. For the fact like your kid is always asking about you and you are not there. Let's talk about this. My personal story. Yeah. All right, I've told you this before, but I'd like to put it out there, so that maybe other people can learn a thing or two from this situation. Also, Nami myself, I'm one of those kids, about pay. Like when my mom went to introduce the pregnancy
to the father's side. Yeah.
Right, and then but look at me now. I'm okay at school. I did well. I was one of the top performers at school. I kind of slacked a bit because I got comfortable, knowing that man, I'm smart, but I would say I'm okay. But after high school, when I started applying, to varsities, UJ, Verds, and all that kind of stuff, that's where challenges like started to come, and that's where the issue of, funny story. So me and my twin sister, we were going to apply at UJ. It was that time like they were still accepting like walk-ins. So we walk in, and then like at UJ when you enter the by the entrance, you pass the security guy. So you sign up, right? Your ID, your signature, stuff like your details, right? So I'm basically signing there with my twin sister there, and then the security guy is like watching. I'm writing my name, Paul Mahlasela, and then I write my number. So the moment like I'm writing my number, it's like, and then Mfan, utuban spong usap nito Mahlasela. It's like how Mahlasela. Then I pause. I'm saying it lightly, I'm still relaxing. It was just before the time I was like, umzalwane, so lentuli amadlozi bengayithathe the car. So I'm keeping it moving. I fill in my email, like, hey, utu Mahlasela wen? Ngithi yebo. Athi, how? Okay, ubani uMahlasela? Ngithi uMahlasela. The moment like he asked ubani uMahlasela, I knew what what specifically like he was asking about, like where is he coming from? I was like, nah, Oma mahlasela. Like like I was like, and if I said umkulu so umama ka mama, like ubaba ka mama uyi mahlasela, and my mom said, how kanjani manje? And I'm like, no, because of Baba didn't, marry and also paid Inhlawulo to my mom. So that's how I become mahlasela. No man, I'm like, usho kanjani? Ngoba Baba didn't do anything. And like, hi man, angandaba nalokho. Wena uvusimuzi wena. Kumele uvuse isibongo sika baba wakho. So kanjani osenza isibongo like isibongo sama makho. I'm like, but I'm telling you, I'm explaining to you that my dad didn't do anything. They didn't even get married. It's like, but I'm not saying it's about dad. When I uvusimuzi wena. So when I'm out at isibongo sama makho then umuzi baba wakho uzovusa ubani. I'm like, then I'm like, yo, my guy, listen, man. I try to explain the situation. This is what happened. Saphiko. He's like, oh, hi, man. No, at that time, I didn't know that Saphiko at that time. My mom always hide this thing, like every time when I ask my mom about my dad, she'll first get pissed, get irritated, and she'll scream, hey, again. And she'll be dismissive of the situation. But I had like a father figure in my life, who I still regard till this day as my dad. That man really raised me. I am who I am because of him, Shout out to him, And then I explained the situation to him to say, oh, no. And then he then said, no, go to your mom. Because we didn't know our real father. Me and my sisters like, no, go to your mom and ask your mom about your dad. You guys have a right to know. So your mom must tell you. All right, sharp. We then do our thing at DJ. We come back. Immediately, like when we go home, we ask our mom, say, Ma, you won't believe like what happened today. What happened? We tell her the situation. She thought like we were gonna tell her about the school, but we told her about the like the gates like situation, the streets, and that's when like again she wanted to dismiss it, but she saw that this thing is coming now because we are receiving a lot of episodes, situations where maybe abatandazi, prophets, they are coming visiting us, and it's always the pressing issue, up until from that day. She finally told us because we're like, Ma, because we didn't get accepted at UJ. We didn't get accepted at VET, even though we performed very well. They were like, no, we only got accepted at TUT, and TUT is far. It meant that like we had to relocate, and then my mom didn't have the funds, to help us like relocate, stuff like that. So that was like, Ma, I think if we were to fix this thing about my dad, things would have went well. I qualified for the course that I was applying for at UJ because they accepted, right? Like my application was accepted, but to then come and register the whole entire thing, that was when like, no, there's no space. So we got blocked just when we were about to answer. So like, Ma, no, we need to fix this situation about, right? And also we went to this other church, as prophet, same situation. That's what pushed my mom to really, do due diligence, like for us to really go meet our dad. We went to meet our dad, things didn't go well, as my mom explained to you, like when we came to you. And then that's where, we were trying to fix stuff, stuff like that. But after that situation, we're like, no, we're just going to chill comfortably, because also we realized that they are getting irritated and getting pissed and getting jealous, as you explained, to say how. Because you remember, my mom did tell you that after we went, Gatabete, like I got marked. I lost my camera. These guys even went too far to take my shoes and my trousers. I went back home. They took my wallet, my phone. I went back home with my undies and my shirts alone. They went that far. They took everything, my bag, everything in Mkulu, everything I was wearing. Because the jacket, everything. That's how hectic it was. So then what happens is that kind of situation in Mkulu.
So I get a lot of people who come to me, sebe grown, like umuntu sekhulile. Athi mina mkhulu, I want the advice because I want to take surname kababa. You are now grown, which means all along amadlozi esayidini la kama wakho have been taking care of you. Now you want to go and take a surname that you don't know what's kwenzakalani khona. You don't know how many generational curses are there? Sometimes, amadlozi akamawakho, they were even protecting you from potential issues on your father's side if you just go and you take that surname. You don't know what it is they were protecting you from. So, I always suggest, Uguti, you need to do Imbeleko, which is a process where a baby is announced to the ancestors of your mother, not your father. Because what you are basically saying is that you are saying, I am honoring you for taking care of me, for looking after me in this world. And I am letting you know that I believe that I belong to you guys. When you do that, then amadlozi will be like, perfect. Samba nawake manje Paul, sizokusa phambili, we are taking you to the next level. So other people, they tell me, Uguti, they sometimes go by bababo to go and fix some sort of ancestral issues. Maybe kunomsebenzi khona, and then they don't say anything about phahle sayidini lakama. And then umuntu atshontshelwe izinto. Umuntu abe kwi-car accident. Why? Because amadlozi, the ancestors, the maternal ancestors become jealous. Ukuthi, how lo muntu lona, we've been there for him. But now uyasilahla thina kanjena. Ufuna kanti unjani lo muntu?
What's happening?
So in Zulu, umntwana ozalwe wangakhula ngesibongo sakababakhe, wakhula ngesibongo sakamawakhe, ubizwa ngumlanjana. So, for example, my dad, and I discovered late in my 40s, Uguti, ubaba never paid damages for me, lapana esayidini lakama kwagoba. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. After losing a job, a career, losing a house, losing my wonderful car. Yes.
And you're like, me too. I'll meet you, my brother.
And I'm like, wait, guys, why didn't you just tell me so that I can fix it? I'm just trying to show you guys that even us as prophets, psychics, and sangomas and whatnot, we also go through these problems. But what I've learned is they will make you go through this problem so that you can help others. So now I have a podcast with Paul. We are teaching people about culture, and we are teaching people about the importance of how to fix it. So, so maybe some people are going to ask on the podcast. They're going to say, "How exactly do we do Imbeleko?" Okay, it's done in many different ways. Like amaXhosa do it differently to amandebele and amazulu. But in Zulu, Tina siyakubika ekhaya ngembuzi, and then we take the gallbladder of leyo mbuzi sikugeze ngayo ngoba manje sithini sithi owala kuleli khaya lelo. And then abanye bathatha the gallbladder esele bayihlanganise neinsipho, angithi kusuke kukhona isiZulu sokambia. So isokambia iba ne, I don't know what to call it in English as, but there is something when you are squeezing isokam, there's the seeds that come out. Those seeds that are supposed to be spread in the yard of that home.
From umqombothi, right?
Yeah, from umqombothi. Then you mix it with the gallbladder and ukhele kulelo ceke, because you are saying ukuthi lo umntwana wala ekhaya. I think Ubuhle Nompo had a question.
Yes, it's not actually a question. Yeah, please ask a question just afterwards. Like, we're going to pause and then we change the battery pack and then we continue. Yes, sir, we're back again. Still the same, nothing has changed. Paul, you had a question?
Oh, I wanted to ask that there's present fathers that are just there because you live with them.
Yeah.
But financially, no. And ukughlawula nayo, nothing.
They didn't do.
Yeah, so they are not absent, but they are
present physically.
They are present, but there are some sort of absent in other aspects.
So it's like they are there as in like they've raised you, right? But they didn't do Inhlawulo and also Ukulobola as umntwana.
But they're also not paying school fees, for example.
Yeah. So what happens in that case?
So Angithi, that father is basically abusing that child.
Oh.
Because there is, in psychological terms, neglect. If a child is neglected by ubaba.
Yeah.
I've also noticed the same pattern where such fathers, eventually, what the ancestors of the mother will do is they'll break up the parents, not stay together anymore. And then la khona ubaba, even though esebenza and working, but impilo is just not going forward. And he doesn't know why. It's funny though. Those fathers, when the child grows up and becomes successful, they are the first ones to say, "Umntwana lona, I raised her, unjena nje because of me."
Yeah.
That's those are the fathers that do that.
Hectic, man.
So, but the pattern is people who are not looking after their children, fathers who are not looking after their children. Our ancestors tend to punish them. Remember, this is an innocent child. And the child is being looked after by the ancestors of the mother and God himself. And uJesu, he said, "Vumelana abantwana bezekimi ngokuba umbuso wezulu ngowabo." So children are very precious to God. So when you do that, trust me, somewhere, somehow, you are going to have problems.
But then in an instance where the same story, but then when you have a child, they tend to kind of be better with my parenting skills, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, so I grew up under an abusive father. It was very, very horrible to me. But I love children because of that. I know that it's not a nice life for a child. So I always say I would never do that to my children. Never. So it's
another thing.
It's
not. Yeah. So it's a thing of like, just to quickly wrap it up, guys, it's really important that we do due diligence, when you know that like man, just do the right thing. Sometimes I understand that it's a ego thing, it's a maybe kind of messed up situation, because some other situations you'll find that maybe benkanga, right? And I didn't tell my wife or my girlfriend benkanga, and then this person comes with isisu. So now milling is pig because of my wife is here, stuff like that. But no matter what, guys, the right thing is the right thing. If your wife or your girlfriend loves you, they'll understand. Because there's also a thing of like, as you said, if we are married, right, and it so happens that your wife or you yourself oprekisa ngaphandle, like uyamithisa ngaphandle, umntwana owenu, right, because of the union that is there. But mkhulu, just before we wrap up, one more question, then we wrap up, because I think the people get the point now. Fathers out there, they'll think that Inhlawulile songiqedile and then umntwana akasenza isibongo sami. And for me, I believe that is not correct. Ukuhlawula, it doesn't mean that umntwana can use isibongo sakho. For me, I believe that, at least when the kid is born under wedlock, then a kid can use your surname. Can you maybe take us through that?
Okay, so culturally, and I've seen this even with Tswanas and Tsonga people, during the stages of damage payment, what's the word? My English is running away from me. During that period where everybody's discussing, the two families are meeting, there will be a discussion of Uguti. What do we do for the child to have our surname as the father?
Yeah.
Now, in Zulu CI akalotshole umntwana. So uzomhlawula ugeza umuzi uphinde umlobole, then you'll have a right ukuthi lo mntwana abize isibongo sa lapha ekhaya. Uma usumhlawulile wageza umuzi wamlobola, you still need to go and do imbeleko lapha kini ukuze abelonge emadlozini aka babwakhe. Otherwise, then no. You're not. You can't just say ukuthi umntwana akabiza isibongo sakhe.
Exactly, because of like a lot of guys, especially in our day and age, they think that once I've paid damages, then we cool, it's done, we sharp, like stuff like that, and it's really not the case. And then Kulu, you said, just to quickly wrap it up again, you said Inhlawulo, right? Ukugeza umuzi, ukulobola umntwana, and then you Imbeleko again. I think you've explained like how to do Imbeleko.
Oh, sorry, there's a fifth one.
Which is?
If umphikile umntwana
Yeah.
and then wabuya, then there'll be an additional now. Ukuthi kumele ukhokhe ukuthi umphikile umntwana.
Ish, that one is hectic. Can you take us through quickly, briefly, the process of ukuhlawula, the process of ukugeza umuzi, and then the process of ukulobola umntwana? Because those are the three ones that I'm not yet familiar with. I don't know, like how do they look like? Like what do you do? Like what's the process?
So Paul, during the stage where the uncles are sitting down together and they're having the discussion for what the mother's side wants in terms of damages, before they even start, they will, we would have sent a letter saying, we are coming, we want to pay ilona. Or in some instances, uzobethathiwe uma wengane wayiswa laphana kamkhwenyana. So we are niyaphahle ekhaya, niyabika amadlozi, tell ancestors that our child ukhulelwe and the father of the baby is coming with ithimba lakhe so that bezokhokha inhlawulo and everything. So it's basically ukulobola umntwana nokukhokha ama damages at that moment when it happens. So there isn't like an intricate process per se. So let's say like recently to go and pay my damages. Let's say then they say the money is X. Then I discovered when I was there like a dish. But tinamazulu siba no ants like a pine mat, small one, where kubekwa khona imali, and then this is the money that we've agreed upon for ukugeza umuzi, for ukuhlawula, for ukulobola. Then besibekwa phansi, iyabhalwe ibekwe phansi. Then kuyabhalwa ke phansi, so that everybody is in agreement ukuthi we wrote and we signed and we paid. Umntwana uhlawulile. Umntwana officially now belongs kwaMahlasela. Then ngeke bese kuba khona process ye home affairs. But other people you'll find ukuthi they would have already sorted that out when the baby was born. Ibize isename yakubo babakhe. But I think there's another conversation we need to have. Ukuthi okay, sengimdala ke manje and I discover ukuthi ubaba kangihlawulanga. Then how do I fix that?
Okay. We'll talk about that on another episode. This has been a very insightful episode. I hope you learned a thing or two. It's really important that you do the right thing, because the right thing will always be the right thing. Aishinji Anastravelo. Please subscribe, leave your comment below, and please help us grow this channel. Thank you if you also enjoyed this episode. I've personally enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Mpo, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was also, insightful also for you, man. We'll see you on another one. Cheers.